She doesn't come across as smug at all. It's a huge difference. Hillary Clinton came across as so self-centered. I'm with her, you know, being the like, what are you kidding me? Hillary Clinton just came off as so entitled and smug, and Kamala Harris comes across as, I think she can be condescending when she's talking to or about Trump, but I don't think she comes across as condescending generally. Kamala Harris gave a campaign speech in Milwaukee. You know, I gotta respect it. We're just, what, 3 days out from Kamala Harris becoming the front runner? She's already doing a campaign speech in Wisconsin. Yeah, I heard it was good, but I haven't seen it. I want to see it. When was the last time Biden got applause like this?
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, Wisconsin. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. It is good
by the
to
way,
be back.
just to keep up with like the energy that is built so far. Here, CNBC, this article is, I think, 17 hours out of date, but like, this is where we're at, okay? Harris has already received the spoken or written backing with the required number of delegates at the Democratic Party's convention. So even if an open convention is held, it is the most formal of formalities. It is the most, like, let us go through the motion. I'm actually okay with an open convention in the context of it having functionally already been decided, because that minimizes the infighting and gives her a greater, I guess, appearance of being like accepted by the party apparatus, you know? Not much chance of like spoiler candidacy here, you know? Also, yeah, Jesus Christ, man. Harris and the Democratic Party have pulled in roughly $250 million in 2 days. And this is just Harris and the Democratic Party, by the way. This is not counting all of the super PACs. So the other one we looked at, the Future Forward PAC, we're talking, again, like, in 2 days, we're probably looking at, in total, in excess of $500 million. It took no time at all for Kamala Harris to raise several times more money than Elon Musk, one of the world's richest men, has singly pledged to Donald Trump over the course of the entire election cycle. Just like that. I donated $50 yesterday, and Al Ren donated $50 yesterday. It's all coming together. Unbelievable. Yeah, in addition to the online donations, a super PAC that supports the Biden-Harris ticket announced that over the past 24 hours, major donors have made contributions totaling $150 million. This is in addition to the pre-existing money that Future Forward had, and the pre-existing money that the Biden PAC, or sorry, that the Biden campaign already had. Again, like, the amount of money, they're gonna have to spend a lot of money, man. Woo!
Thank you all very much. Can we please hear it for Leah and her extraordinary story and leadership? Thank you.
Oh, and since this is going to end up being a video, I want to make an addendum. I have previously supported Josh Shapiro as the frontrunner for a VP pick because it would lock in PA. I've reflected on it a little bit more, and I've decided no. I think we need to be confident. I think we're getting PA anyway. I think that a better pick would be Beshear or Kelly. Kelly because he's an astronaut and locks in Arizona, and Beshear, we're not getting Kentucky. But Beshear has a lot going for him. I think the problem with Shapiro ultimately is the fact that he's a piece of shit. It's the main problem. This was when I was feeling a little bit less confident. This is something that I was willing to overlook in favor of like winning PA. But I think that since things are going really well out the front, I think that like it's more valuable to preserve the high energy from young voters and progressives than to rope in Josh Shapiro, who's like a hardline Zionist and was comparing the student protesters for Palestinians to like the KKK, you know? So I've reassessed, I've reevaluated, I've put the, I'm here with the abacus, you know, and I think, yeah, I'm thinking Kelly or Beshear. That would be my, yeah. Beshear could make appeals to the broader like Appalachian, yeah, because, you know, sort of Midwestern pride there. Anyway.
And I do believe our teachers do God's work. They teach other people's children, and God knows we don't pay them enough.
As a Reddit atheist, I'm renouncing my support for Kamala Harris.
And it is so good to be here and be back with so many extraordinary leaders, including my friend, the great governor of Wisconsin, Tony Evers. He's here somewhere. My dear friend, Senator Tammy Baldwin.
Mauled.
And you know, I had the privilege of serving with Tammy when I was in the United States Senate, and she is always fighting for the people of this state. And I know that the folks that are here are going to make sure you return her to Washington, D.C. in November. Yes, we are going to elect her back to Washington, D.C. It is so good to be here also with Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez, Attorney General Josh Kaul, Wisconsin Secretary of State Sarah Godlewski, County Executive David Crowley, Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
It's like listening to a normal person,
and the
man.
Great State Party Chair Ben Wickler, who I have worked with, Ben, you and I, who I have worked.
Sorry, I just played my own feed.
We've been working together for years, and I can attest he knows how to build the infrastructure that delivers wins up and down the ballot. Thank you, Ben. So it is good to be back in Wisconsin, and it is great to be in Milwaukee. As many of you know, our state campaign headquarters are in this city. Yes, and there is a reason.
If I'm reading this right, it looks like the $250 million that Kamala Harris has raised is more than Trump has raised in all of 2024. Yes, if we are looking exclusively at direct campaign donations, like through the campaign itself, it took 2 days for Kamala Harris's fundraising to outpace 7 months of Donald Trump's fundraising. Now, of course, there are also the super PACs out there, and Trump gets plenty of money through that, but, you know, so does Kamala. So, yeah, it's significant. It's very, very significant, guys.
For that, the path to the White House goes through Wisconsin. Yes, it does. And to win in Wisconsin, we are counting on you right here in Milwaukee. And you all helped us win in 2020. And in 2024, we will win again.
I genuinely think the fact that she's just pleasant is going to be one of the biggest, like, outside of almost anything else, you know? You know how the median voter in America is like, no matter what they actually believe, they're always like, yeah, you know, what I really want is for the tensions to come down and for us to, like, get along and for people to agree. Like, they could be like basically a Hitlerite and they would still say that, you know? I genuinely think that having a person who comes across as really nice and friendly, like, does a lot to you know, bring that down. It makes me wonder if in the long run the dark branding I wonder if that appealed to the base, but not, like, it didn't do much for outreach, maybe. I wonder if that would have negatively, I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, we will. So, Milwaukee, I want to start by saying a few words, and I could really speak at length, but a few words about our incredible President Joe Biden.
We'll talk about him.
It has truly been one of the greatest honors of my life to serve as Vice President to our President Joe Biden. Joe's legacy of accomplishment over his entire career and over the past 3.5 years is unmatched in modern history. In one term, think about it, in one term as president, he has already surpassed the legacy of most presidents who served 2 terms in office. And I know we are all deeply, deeply grateful for his continuing service to our nation.
What a claim. It is the prerogative of the last thing that that Kamala Harris wants is any perceived friction during the transition from Biden to her. As the keep in mind, these are like basically unprecedented circumstances. The idea of like getting this late into a campaign and then suddenly switching off to the VP while the sitting president is still alive, it is a genuinely like wild happening. So I think that she's probably concerned like there cannot be any perception of Biden's bitterness. It can't, they don't want it to feel like Biden has been ousted and she has been put in his place. You know what I mean? So it makes sense that she would be glazing the fuck out of him.
And it is my great honor to have Joe Biden's endorsement in this race. So, Wisconsin, I am told as of this morning that we have earned the support of enough delegates to secure the Democratic nomination.
Yep. Yeah, look, like that.
And I am so very honored, and I pledge to you I will spend the coming weeks continuing to unite our party so that we are ready to win in November. So, friends, we have 105 days until Election Day, and in that time, we've got some work to do.
105, man.
But we're not afraid of hard work. We like hard work, don't we? And we will win this election. Yes, we will.
Vosh, you were right about the racism thing. I knew this was an issue for them. I didn't realize we would get such a funny confirmation so quickly. Today, GOP leaders urged their own elected officials to please stop talking about Kamala Harris's race. Please, God, stop calling her the DEI candidate. Please, God, stop bringing up her race. Oh my God, you guys are so racist. Please, God. It's been like 3 days, man. And they've already met their, you know, coded N-word quota for the election cycle. Jesus Christ. During a closed-door meeting Tuesday morning, chair of the House GOP campaign arm, Richard Hudson, and others issued a warning after a series of comments by their members that focused on Harris's race, as well as claims she's a DEI pick. Genuinely psychotic, insane, they cannot help themselves, they have no self-control. They have no policy positions or beliefs other than, like, white supremacy.
So as Leah told you, before I was elected vice president, before I was elected United States Senator, I was elected Attorney General of the state of California, and I was a courtroom prosecutor before then. And in those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters,
people who abused the split, you know?
Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
Already more balls than Biden ever had on the campaign trail.
I promise you, I will proudly put my record against his any day of the week. As Attorney General of California, I took on one of our country's largest for-profit colleges that was scamming students. Donald Trump ran a for-profit college that scammed students. As a prosecutor, I specialized in cases involving sexual abuse. Well, Trump was found liable for committing sexual abuse.
That's true.
As Attorney General of California, I took on the big Wall Street banks and held them accountable for fraud. Donald Trump was just found guilty of fraud on 34 counts. But let's also make no mistake, this campaign is not just about us versus Donald Trump. This campaign is about who we fight for. This is about who we fight for. Just look at how we are running our campaigns. So Donald Trump is relying on support from billionaires and big corporations. And he is trading access in exchange for campaign contributions.
Earlier, Annie said that somebody needs to ask her about the marijuana conviction so she can just disavow it. If she does, I think that would be amazing, yeah. Kamala Harris does appear, as far as I can tell, to actually have beliefs. I'm not saying she's like a Bernie Sanders type or anything. I don't think she's like a completely empty vessel, though. Some of her most, like, if I remember, some of her most active, like, evidence of her having genuine beliefs was on gay issues, actually. She was, when she was San Francisco's district attorney, she was like aggressively offering same-sex marriages in collaboration with then Mayor Gavin Newsom. And then like she wasn't defending Prop 8, and she was like, yeah, and she had like an LGBTQ hate crimes unit to like deal with homophobic crimes or whatever. She's been pretty aggressive on that specifically. Is being a DA really a cop? It's kind of like being a super cop a little bit. Yeah, it falls under the cop umbrella, you know. It's like you know, technically, like you know, the Pope isn't the priest, but if you said the priesthood, you'd be, you know, as a you know, priest's a little pedo-y, you know, that goes up. That hits the bishops too. That being said, there have certainly been worse DAs.
Contributions. A couple months ago, y'all saw that a couple months ago at Mar-a-Lago. He literally promised big oil companies, big oil lobbyists, he would do their bidding for $1 billion in campaign donations. On the other hand, we are running a people-powered campaign.
The number of donations she's gotten in like 2 days actually prove this. She's gotten insane. How much money did Bernie Sanders get in total for like the average donation of like, you know, 13 or what, like 23 or whatever the amount dollars was? Because getting like $250 million through small dollar donations alone is genuinely insane.
Just had some breaking news. We just had the best 24 hours of grassroots fundraising in presidential campaign history.
Yeah. All the people who are saying Biden shouldn't drop out, man. I don't know, man. The energy.
And because we are a people-powered campaign, that is how you know
114 in small, 87 in large. God damn, Bernie was so good. And just a primary, too.
And Wisconsin, this campaign is also about two different visions for our nation. One, where we are focused on the future.
These Newsmax chyrons are amazing. Me when they have me write the chyrons, but we have nothing on her. Supports higher taxes for corporations. Wants to cap rent and utility payments. Urgh. Backs Medicare for all. Investigated fossil fuel companies. Oh my God. Average Newsmax viewer when they realize that a president might potentially like critically investigate fossil fuel companies. They and I don't want to hear it.
The other focused on the past. We believe in a future where every person has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead. A future where no child has to grow up in poverty. Where every worker has the freedom to join a union.
That's low. Are you feeling unburdened, folks?
And paid family leave. We believe in a future where every senior can retire with dignity. So all of this is to say, building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency. Because here's the thing we all here, Wisconsin, know. When our middle class is strong, America is strong. But Donald Trump wants to take our country backward. He and his extreme Project 2025 agenda
bringing this up too. This was one of the biggest failings from Biden in the debate. The fact that he never brought up Project 2025. I don't think you guys understand just how insane it is that that got leaked. I have no idea what the Heritage Foundation was thinking ever listing that publicly. That shit should have been on like burn on like reception paper. Like they should have been like all kneeling to read from one document that got thrown in a fireplace afterwards. It's literally a 700-page "This is our evil mastermind plan" document with policies on it that like 4% of Americans agree with, you know? It's literally like, here is the evil we will do. We will just 900 pages. Here is how we will destroy the country, you know? It's crazy. A lot of people still don't know about Project 2025. It's public on their website. I know! It's insane! Honestly, my guess is that they thought it was the only way, the Heritage Foundation thought it was the only way to get the Trump administration's attention. I don't know. It's crazy. One way or another, they need to bring attention to it.
Weaken the middle class. Like, we know we got to take this seriously. Can you believe they put that thing in writing? Read it. It's 900 pages.
Just read it.
But here's the thing. When you read it, you will see Donald Trump intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. He intends to give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations and make working families foot the bill. They intend to end the Affordable Care Act and take us back then to a time when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of younger people in my audience might not know this, but up until the Obama administration, if you could have health insurance and go to a doctor to get coverage or treatment, and the insurance company would just deny your claim even though you had the insurance, because they were like, oh, well, there are wrong things with your body. Your body's wrong. It's a bad body. So we're not going to help you. And then you just like die in poverty. That was the plan. As bad as Obamacare is, the fact that they can no longer deny coverage based on pre-existing conditions is massive. And remember, Donald Trump tried to get rid of it. The only reason we still have it, the only reason you guys aren't getting denied healthcare coverage claims on the basis of the pre-existing condition of you being a Vosh viewer, aka mentally deficient, is because John McCain, in his final act as a living human being, stood up and was like, I do not vote to repeal it. Ugh. And then he died. Send it to me on Discord, Radical Reviewer. I don't think I know what one you're referring to. Elon Musk has backed down from his pledge to financially support the Trump campaign. Oh, that is funny, dude. Are you kidding? He does this with everything. He's like, I will give you... It's commencing, folks! Donald Trump is going to be so Matt, have we gotten like the Truth Social posts? When did this happen? This is only 2 hours ago. What? Okay. Well, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. It's commencing, folks. Absolutely zero convictions. He really is the most spineless piece of shit imaginable. We'll talk about his horrific interview in a little bit. Don't worry, we'll get to that. He might be scared Kamala will win, so now he hedges. Look, I'm a big enjoyer of democracy and freedom. I think that I don't know about Elon Musk having rights personally. I don't know. I feel like there should be exceptions sometimes. I feel like Kamala Harris, you know, Elon thinks Kamala Harris is a dictator. Okay, you know, I say we test those scales a little bit, okay? Everyone gets their union, everyone gets their health care, and somewhere in America, at a black site where there's no satellite coverage, and all that shows on Google Maps is a like plain featureless span of dirt. Elon is in a chair, like naked, you know, like he's tied to like a wooden chair. Okay.
Remember what that was like? Children with asthma, women who survived breast cancer, grandparents with diabetes. America has tried these failed economic policies before, but we are not going back.
Yo, Sleepy Joe Biden.
We are not going back. Not going back. We're not going back. We are not going back. We're not going back.
I actually really like "We're not going back" as a campaign slogan, by the way. This is my bias, of course, because I'm in that energized left-leaning demographic, but it's a really big umbrella. You don't have to subscribe to the belief that Kamala Harris is the perfect candidate to get behind it. You know what I mean? All you have to do is not like Trump. It's centering the message is centering like it's like aggressive. It's oppositional. You know, it implies a lot. I like it. I like it a lot. It's not like the Hillary Clinton "America is already great" bullshit.
We're not going back. And I'll tell you why we're not going back. Because ours is a fight for the future. And it is a fight for freedom. Generations of generations, and we have to remember this. The shoulders on which we stand, generations of Americans before us led the fight for freedom. And now, Wisconsin, the baton is in our hands.
I do worry that, like, even though Biden was legitimately on the precipice of death and Donald Trump has been slurring his words for decades now, I worry now that because of Biden, every time Kamala ever slips up in anything, which every human being alive does, all of us are going to go like, ooh, like PTSD. We're like dogs that have been taken from the shelter and we hear like a car door slam outside, you know, like, yeah, it scares me too, because then I think like, oh no, and then you remember, wait, literally everyone misspeak. Wait, I misspeak constantly. It's like I'm not cognitively deficient, as far as you know, and I misspeak constantly. I gotta wean off a little bit. You know, Biden is gone. They put him out the shed, I assume.
We who believe in the sacred freedom to vote will make sure every American has the ability to cast their ballot and have it counted. We who believe that every person in our nation who should have the freedom to live safe from the terror of gun violence will finally pass red flag laws, universal background checks, and an assault weapons ban.
All right, have your fun, liberals. You're not taking my Mini 14.
And we who believe in reproductive freedom will stop Donald Trump's extreme abortion bans because we trust women to make decisions about their own body and not have their government tell them what to do. Congress passes a law to restore reproductive freedoms as President of the United States, I will sign it into law.
Yeah, she doesn't come across as smug at all. It's a huge difference. Hillary Clinton came across as so self-centered. I'm with her, you know, being the like, what are you kidding me? F you, you know? Hillary Clinton just came off as so entitled and smug, and Kamala Harris comes across as, I think she can be like condescending when she's talking to or about Trump, but I don't think she comes across as condescending generally. If you don't already, you have to get the folding stock. I already have the folding stock, my friend. It rules. She does have mother energy.
Wisconsin, ultimately in this election, we each face a question. What kind of country do we want to live in? A country
unburdened by that which has been?
And to your point, do we want to live in a country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law, or a country of chaos, fear, and hate? And here's the beauty of this moment. We each have the power to answer that question. The power is with the people. We each have the power to answer that question. And in the next 105 days, then we have work to do. We have doors to knock on. We have phone calls to make. We have voters to register. And we have an election to win.
Sheesh.
So, Wisconsin, today I ask you, are you ready to get to work? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
The winds have shifted. It is indeed commencing. The energy is crazy, man. Why do you think Kamala Harris's public speaking is different now? I know you weren't a fan of her older speech. I mean, it's 4 years have passed. Honestly, she might have just locked in. I don't know. People can change in 4 years. I'm not so cynical as to believe that everything is like a pre-planned script. I got the Biden disease. Pre-planned scripted, like, you know, oh, we had a focus group talk about how she should talk and she listened. You know, it could just be she's locking in. You know, I would respect that. I respect the idea of someone just locking the fuck in, of someone waking up and going like, all right, there are two paths before me right now. Either I could wilt in the, you know, I can wilt in the shade or prosper in the sun, and I'm going to charge headlong into the sun. I will not stop my charge until I make contact with the solar winds, you know, until I am engulfed. Is this what hope and enthusiasm feels like? This is what Biden and the DNC establishment had been robbing from you for years. Republicans feel this way all the time when they think about Trump, because Trump is capable of energizing his base, giving them a clear plan and a vision, giving them a message to focus on, you know? Having anything at all to believe in, even if it's a concession, as Kamala Harris absolutely is from a socialist perspective, is infinitely better than just, you know, all right, I guess it's gonna be Biden. It's pretty good. Yeah, her being high energy, honestly, is 90% of the battle. We'll see. Everyone in chat's like, this is just like Obama. Okay, be honest. Be honest. How many of you are polling a GOP representative move right now and saying that just because she's black? Okay, you own up to it.
I'll tell you a quick story. I got back home today. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I flew into Hartsfield Jackson. I ordered an Uber. I got in the Uber, and the guy starts talking to me. Super nice guy. And he starts kind of asking me like what I do for work, basically.
What is this?
And I was like, well, I do like some political stuff. I'm really passionate about politics. You know, that's why I was in Omaha, Nebraska. And he said, you know, I wasn't gonna vote. But I really don't like Trump. But he's like, you know, I wasn't super excited. And he's like, but after the news, I'm actually pretty excited to vote for Kamala Harris. I said, really? He said, yeah, you know, I'm from Pennsylvania. I really want the VP to be Shapiro. He tells me he has 2 girls, 2 daughters. He was like, I would never let them be around someone like Donald Trump. And he's like, I just feel like Kamala is like the energy. Now she's the energy. He talked about how his wife was from out of the country and needed a green card. He reached out when he lived in Texas. He reached out to Ted Cruz about helping his wife get a green card. He didn't respond. Then he reached out to Colin Aldred, and Colin Aldred helped his wife get a green card. He's like, I'll vote for Republicans, but not someone like Donald Trump. And we talk through how he can vote and where he can vote.
It is really nice to have a candidate who is genuinely unburdened. I'm sorry I keep repeating this, but I want to be sure you see it. I lead canvassing teams for a nonprofit in Pennsylvania, and the energy around work is off the charts right now. Yeah, I've heard that from a few people in chat and over email who are like, hey, like, you know, we're your deep state connections. We've got our ears to the ground. People going crazy right now. I mean, how much energy do you think people could muster going door to door in like PA or Georgia or whatever, being like, hey, have you heard about this guy called Joe Biden? How much work do you think they're going to be able to get done there? Honestly, that's the weakness of incumbency, you know? Incumbency may give you a big name recognition advantage, but it also, unfortunately, gives you a big name recognition advantage. Was Kamala reading off a teleprompter? Probably. Politicians normally do, especially at the presidential level. Do you think Kamala should be a one-term president? How the f should I know? Kamala's young enough that she could be a 2-term president. Like, age wouldn't be an issue. What is she right now? She's like 50... Was she 55, 60? What is thereabouts? 59? So she would finish out a second term at 68, which isn't even the sex number. Not that old. 68 is not that old for a president. I don't know. Can't see the future. Let's win the first term before we start focusing on the second one, huh? Yeah, it does help she looks like 50, you know?